Yes, guys. Weekly breakdown, weekly forecast. It is Sunday. Hope you've all had a good weekend. Um, right, let's get straight into it. Um, there's a little bit of a chance that we could have things gap up, right? Stuff has happened over the weekend, more geopolitical news with the Iran and Israel stuff kicking off. So you could well see things like gold gap. So leave a gap and be opening up quite high. Okay. So hopefully none of you are holding trades over the weekends or have been holding trades over the weekend because you could run the risk if you are trying to sell. Your stop loss could get well and truly smashed through and then some because obviously spread. If the market opens up 34.60 and you've put your stop at 34.50, it will take you out at 34.60. That is just how it happens, how it is. Um, but yeah, so it's going to be a bit of a testy week, if I'm honest, because of all these bits and pieces kicking off. It depends on what other countries might get involved. Does the US get involved? If the US gets involved, then you might see USD pairs start to push down. But all the while, there is stuff kicking off with war. Gold tends to, increase in value, right? It is a safe haven. It is very much invested into when times of, war and stuff like that kicks off. Gold is normally the one that has a good rally, as you've well seen since 2023. I think so. I think it's continued to rally from 2023. So for I think it was 1815, it rallied from 2023 to where it is now, and that is going to be backed off of lots of things to do with war and other bits and pieces. Friday, obviously, I did say that this was the kind of little setup that you could potentially go for on Friday with gold. That kind of played out. I just want to say, firstly, I'm very, very impressed with the guys in the group. This is probably the first time I've had, traders alongside me in a group that I feel know what the fuck they're talking about. There's reasons behind their trades. There's analysis behind their trades. There's purpose behind their trades, which makes it a hell of a lot more trusting for you guys in the group. Okay. So, when you're seeing chart analysis, when you're seeing breakdowns, when you're seeing reasons and stuff like that, there should be no sort of hesitation as to for you to then get into those setups because, like myself, I'll always give you a reason, a purpose, and criteria that has to be met before getting into those setups. So, big love to the guys in there, SR, Pav, Chung, and Dale as well, for really good fucking guys, well on their way in their journey, and they're definitely on the right track to probably make this a full-time career somewhere down the line. So yeah, props to them being in the group and helping me. Only setup that we are still currently in is USD CAD. USD CAD is still pittering along. Swap fees are diabolical, but it is what it is. GA, we had a little bit of a GA is just being GA at the end of the day. Lots of just kind of spiking up, closing down, big wicks, big candles, 200 pip candles, all this sort of shit. I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait to see if, because the weekly did close bullish again. So this could well and truly keep pushing. I did have a I had two scenarios. This on the sell side, but I also printed out this on the buy side, which looks like it was probably the one to go for. So it was from low to high here. Did come down, tap the 50%, but we had this overnight kind of spike up. So it would have it probably would have thrown me off anyway. So, but GA is one of those pairs where it just fucks about and produces massive wicks and false moves and all that sort of stuff. GU, look, we're still a sideways market. It's very hard to give a kind of forecast on GU and EU purely and solely because of what could come this week. We also have interest rate, which looks to be unchanged on Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever it is. But also, like I said, if the war stuff kicks off, USD, could potentially rally, meaning that USD pairs start to push down. I'd like to see that. I'd like to see some sort of breakout of this sideways range and for us to kind of get a decent retracement and see where it goes from there. Same with Euro. Euro very much still up at the highs after sweeping out this previous high here and some highs further back since, I think, 2024, I think it was. So, again, can't really give a big analysis on Euro, to be honest, because things could have changed over the weekends. But I would like to see some sort of retracement. I am waiting on that to happen. Not so much down here. I will very much kind of reanalyze after market opens tonight. Let Monday play out, see if there is any fuckery that wants to happen over sort of the course of Monday. But yeah, it's kind of a tough one. This is kind of what I said to you guys in the live stream and have said in the group. It's a tough time. It's probably one of the toughest times to learn. I don't envy anybody that is trying to build a strategy, understand how to trade the markets, understand what market structure and all this sort of stuff is, because it's not normal market conditions, right? 2023 was normal market conditions. 2024 was a bit sideways for the year. And then we did think that, right, 2025, Trump gets in, we should start to see things trend. And they just haven't really. If you look on, the higher time frame and stuff, things are still very much congested sideways. This could be the start of a potential rally, but still very sideways. Look, the whole of 2023, was quite choppy on Euro USD, but gold was very, very much just a continuous push. But yeah, it's very, very hard for you guys right now to be understanding and building a strategy. So if you are taking losses, look, it's one of them. You've got to get into the what's the word? It's on the top of my tongue. You got to get into the routine. There we go. Of understanding when and when not to trade, right? If you look at the last 2-3 weeks, I've taken 2 trades. Okay, GA was out at break even after an initial push, but that's just me being stubborn. We could have banked some profit, but we did have this initial push down here, if you remember, which was about 200 odd pips. GA at break even, USD CAD still going, right? And those are my only 2 setups. Now, this is where you've got to understand, if you're choosing to be a day trader, scalper, you are going to be putting yourself in a situation where you're opening yourself up to vulnerability in the market, all right? Every day, because you are looking to be in the market every day. Me, I very much can pick and choose when I want to trade and when I want to be in the market. If I believe that there is going to be a lot of fuckery, I just won't trade, right? I know you guys might not have the patience for that, but you've got to understand, if you are prepared to take this on as a full-time job, there will be periods of time where you are sitting there, either you're just losing percent after percent after percent, or you're sitting there just going, I can't see a trade. I genuinely can't see a trade. And, you know, this is probably the number one thing that I say to most people that say, oh yeah, you know, I'm going to quit my job and start trading full time. Well, I wouldn't do that purely and solely because, you know, what happens if you blow your account? You've got no money to put in there. What happens if you don't find a trade? You haven't traded for a week, you haven't made any money. What happens if you are down 3% for the month? Well, you haven't got any money essentially to pay your bills, so it's going to come out of your trading account and you're going to have less money to trade with, right? So it gets to a point, don't get me wrong, further down the line where you've built up enough equity to be able to kind of dip into it, or, you know, you'll start to appreciate that you've made maybe 2 or 3% for the week and you cut it. You go, right, that's fine. There's my bills for the month. I withdraw that 2 or 3%. I put that aside. That is for my bills. Now I'm back to square one. I'm making that 1 or 2% for the week. Boom, 1 or 2%. Right, what can I do that? Do I leave it in there? Do I, you know, go and, I don't know, spend it on some bits and pieces, whatever it might be? That is what you need to be getting into the routine of. So, yeah, and like I said, trading in these conditions right now, very, very tough. Very, very tough. So, you know, take it on the chin if you are incurring some losses. Also, this is going up on YouTube, so people on YouTube will see it. Started the first of many competitions. We have got the first competition coming through starting July. It is top trader of the month. So it's going to be top percent made in a month. Obviously, I want you guys to be doing this, you know, reasonably responsible, but, you know, that is why the max risk per trade is 5%. And I want to see that. I don't want to see any 10, 20% because you just won't win. 10 pip moves minimum. There, you know, because there's no gold involved, right? No golds. I know a few people will probably go and trade US30 or NQ, but is what it is. Stop loss and take profits must be on every trade. I don't want to see any open closes with no stop loss, no take profit. Is that if there is one in there that has that, you are disqualified, right? And the reason why I'm doing all of this is just to get you into good practice. Simply good practice, bit of fun, right? Easy stuff for you to be able to do. It shouldn't be hard. Yeah, first place is going to be a 50K funded, or you can just have the cash as the equivalent. Same, 25K funded for second place, 10K funded for third place. This is only for group members. So if you want to get involved in this, this is going to be running every month. If you want to get involved in this, then, you know, hop on in. The link will be down in the description. $40 a month. So, you know, not too unreasonable, I'd say. But yeah, we've got the Dale setups, SR, Chung setups going, pop-in, PAV setups. Community chats doing really well as well. Crypto, I mean, the crypto's just going all day, every day. I'm surprised nobody else has actually jumped into it. But yeah, I mean, it's one of them. We'll be doing a few live streams this week for sure. Probably Monday. We'll do a live and we'll see how the market's actually opened up. But for anybody else, you know, you can catch me on Twitch. Adam took that. Search it up. But I will speak to you guys during the week in the group, and YouTube. I will see you next Sunday.